Hi guys, welcome to the first episode of Chai Time Cases with CA Sanket Jain. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at a case from building block model while you and I have a cup of tea or some people might be having coffees. In today's session, this case study that we have selected is from building block model as requested by all of you in the introduction video comment section. And this case study is from Case Study Digest because I got a lot of requests from students to cover Case Study Digest, which I already knew though. But anyways, as per your request, we're going to be looking at this case today in the shortest possible time while we have fun drinking tea and coffee together. Okay. So here is a case which, first of all, we'll start with the reading. There is a company called Bhatia and Singh LLP. This is an accounting firm in form of limited liability partnership with 20 plus branches across India in all major cities. BS LLP offers to its customer service in accountancy, assurance, tax consultancy, business advisory services. Since the country is passing through economic slowdown, hence large number of business are entering into either internal or external reconstruction. Resultantly, advisory services are in huge demands. The industry of accounting practices in India is mature despite some of statutes enforced recently. As part of performance analysis at BSLLP, partners of each service domain collectively meet with top officers on monthly basis. Following performance related data belong to latest financial year was considered in one of recent conducted partner meeting. So we have revenue from accounting segment, auditing segment, tax consultancy and business advisory. Then we also have the growth of revenue over previous year. So it has grown by 2%, 9%, 3% and 18%. This is very reasonable considering the point that we read earlier that business advisory or advisory services are in huge demands. Okay. Checking out net profit ratio of 5%, 4.3, 6.7 and 9.8. And then revenue in crores of industry as whole has been given to us. Remuneration structure at BSLLP, as in the partners at BSLLP are paid, how are they going to get paid? Let's check out that. So it's a gossipy area for most of the interns where they try to find out what their partners are earning. Let's try to find out what BSLLP's partners are earning. So partners are getting a fixed contractual payment apart from share and profit. So they're getting the fixed payment plus share and profit. Then non-partners are getting fixed salary apart from variable pay, depending upon rating from their immediate boss and peers. So the rating is from the boss, which is the immediate boss, and the peers. For let's say, for example, for the interns or for the articles, it might be their assistant managers or managers who would be their immediate boss giving them ratings. Imagine if your friend could give you a rating. So they have rating from peers as well. Client relation officer who is working parallel to marketing team. First time participated in monthly performance evaluation meeting and presented following data which contain rating from clients of BSLLP. It is decided that these rating will also be added in performance matrix table stated above. So they have decided to add this also in the above table. They show here customer ratings for each of the segments. So for accounting it is 3.6, for 3.2 for audit, 3.1 for tax consultancy and 4.5 for business advisory. I'm assuming it to be out of 5. Of course 5 being the higher, as they have mentioned, higher the better. Now what is required from our side? First of all, you need to list essential components of any performance management system. So for any performance management system to be good, you need to have hierarchy defined, as in you need to understand what is the structure of the organization. Then you need to delegate the responsibilities to the people so that they are aware of their authorities and responsibilities and to whom and for what they are accountable, right? And third thing is we need to measure their performance only on the basis of what can be controlled, and then we need to develop CSFs and KPIs so that we can achieve our targets and ultimately achieve our strategic objective or the organizational objective. That is what is the list of essential components for a good performance management system. Coming to part B, which is describe building block model of performance management. So building block model, you need to just simply describe. Building block model is a performance management system which looks at dimensions, which looks at rewards, and also then standards, right? So under the reward segment, we consider the three things, which are motivation, clarity, and controllability, which through which we try to understand what type or how do we make our reward system, how our reward system should be, so that it actually attracts the and supports the strategic objective. Also, we need to set up standards, and standards have to be equitable, right? So we have a first point, which is equity. Second is ownership. You need to define who is the responsible person for that. And the last one is what? It is seva is what is through which I remember it. So standards is equity, accountability, and achievability. Very importantly, standards should be set which are achievable. If you set non-achievable standards, it is just going to create demotivation among the people. Okay, so then there are standards. Then there comes the dimensions, which looks at six parts. It has been categorized into two segments. One is results, second is determinants. So dimensions into two parts, right? Results and determinants. Results is one, you get financial results. Second is you get competitive results, in which you gain competitive edge over your competitors, right? In your uh, in your what? In your determinant, sorry. Okay, so I miss out on the terms. So in your determinant section, you get figure is through which I remember it. So F is for flexibility. You need to be flexible around. So flexibility comes from, there are multiple things. One could be that flexibility might be taken as understanding what your customer requirement is. That is also flexibility. Then also providing what their requirement is. Then also providing it at a faster pace, or like for example, there is unexpected demand that pops in. Then you need to fulfill or satisfy that demand. So you need to have the flexibility to satisfy the demand that is abruptly coming in your way, right? So flexibility stems from multiple ways. And then there is I for innovation. Innovation is definitely a requirement. You need to understand. You need to find out different products. You need to find out different services. Also, different ways of doing the existing work, so that it turns out to be better. That is what is innovation. Then R is for resource utilization, in which you simply understand that you need to utilize your resource in an optimum manner. And the last one is Q, quality. So quality of services is for just for the quality. You need to provide quality to your customers to keep them satisfied. Okay. Now, considering all of these together, what you need to understand is that building block model is more applied to service segments, service industries, but it can also be applied to your product making or manufacturing industries. All right. Now, overall, if you look at building block model, it will provide you with ways of developing reward systems. It will also provide you with how to set standards, how to define CSFs and KPIs, and accordingly, then you will be able to use building block model to evaluate your performance and to achieve your strategic objective. All right, this is building block model of given required in part B. Then coming to part C, which is evaluate BSNLP's existing performance management system from perspective of three essential aspects of a building block model. Okay, so what are the three essential aspects? One is dimension, second is standards, and third is rewards. So let's look at standards first. They have standards set in the form of financial results, right? Because they might have a set standard for revenue, which is their previous year's revenue, because that is how they have compared and calculated growth. Then they might have a standard set as per the accounting industry as a whole. Like what is the industry amount, and then how much revenue are we earning, what is the market share that way. So they have standards set in this manner, which I think are fine, but they can be improved. They need to consider the non-financial aspects as well. Coming to standards in detail now, coming to equity first. So there is no equity, as in nothing has been told to us in this question to understand equity, right? Equity is that you are expecting results from all the segments in the same way. There is no excessive pressure on one particular department and the other one is very relaxed. So that does not happen. That does not justify as equity. Equity means that all of them have similar amount of results to give and support, right? So here we do not know anything about it in the question. There's no information about it given. But definitely what we know is that segment wise calculation is being done. So might be they might be setting standard segment wise, uh, equitably only. Okay, then coming to ownership, they do not have a structure ready. They don't know what the hierarchy is, because in the question nothing has been given, so I'm assuming that they do not have a hierarchy. They have partners, they have non-partners, but what is the hierarchy? So they don't know who is responsible for what. If they don't know who is responsible for what, how ownership will be defined, right? It cannot be defined. And then at last, standards have to be achievable, so they would have to mind that the standards they are setting are achievable. Nothing has been told to us specifically about this thing in the question, so we cannot comment on that. Also coming to rewards now, so rewards have to be very specific. There has to be motivation. So here, the reward is definitely the remuneration structure, because the money comes as a reward, right? So partners are getting a fixed contractual payment, but apart from a share in profit. So first of all, profit of the whole organization or profit of their particular segment, that is not clarified here. So there is no enough clarity. Even if we talk about non-partners, they are getting fixed salary apart from variable pay depending upon rating from immediate boss and peers. Now, what is the ratio between the rating of boss and rating of peers, right? Secondly, how, on what basis is the boss going to rate the employee or non-partner? So all of these things have not been clarified here, which means that the remuneration system does not have enough clarity, which is required from the reward side of building block model. So building block model would say that your rewards have to be very clear. You need to tell your employees on what basis are they going to get rewards, on what basis are they going to be rewarded, right? So that is unclear here. Even the partners are going to be demotivated if they don't know how the sharing in profit is happening. Because imagine if a partner of accounting division is performing well and the partner of audit division is not performing well, but the overall share in profit, as in the overall profit of the entire organization, is being shared among all the partners, then in that case the audit partner would not want to improve his services, right? So that way be he will not be motivated to work more and work efficiently and better. And then accounting department's partner would not be motivated because he is performing very nicely, very well, but not getting the share that he deserved, right? So that way. So it has to be clear, it has to be controllable also. You need to understand how the rewards are being set. You need to reward on the basis of controllability. As in, who is responsible for what? Like, for example, the audit partner is responsible for audit work, not for accountancy work, right? So, if the accounting department is not performing well, the audit department should not be punished for it, and the accounting department should not be rewarded for it. So, that is a very simple understanding of what is controllability. And then, last one is motivation. So, they should be set in such a manner which motivates the people to work better. Then coming to determinants, they do not have the dimension. They do not focus on the competitive results. They are focusing only on the financial results. So that is missing. Then also coming to the determinants part, flexibility has not been mentioned anywhere here. So they need to focus on flexibility as well. Also on innovation, because there is a huge demand for new types of services which they need to enter into and provide these services for betterment of their organization. Then also, if we talk about quality, quality has not been mentioned here. If we take customer ratings for the measure of quality, then it is not very good, considering accounting division, audit division, and tax consultancy division. Business advisory might be performing well, but again, we need to compare it with the industry or our competitors, right? And then, of course, resource utilization, which we do not have any idea about from the question. So your resource should be utilized in an optimum manner, which is very required by building block model. So that is your evaluation on part C. And then advice, main improvements that introduction of a building block approach can bring to BSLLP's performance management style. So all that I actually covered in part C only. All of that is same. So you need to consider flexibility, right, which will actually ensure you to understand the customer's requirements and also provide it using lesser number of employees. If we talk about an accounting department, right, it is totally about how many people are you employing for a particular assignment. If you can do that assignment with limited number of people, that is better for your organization only. But also at the same time, you need to manage the quality. You cannot let go of the quality. So flexibility has to be focused upon quality. We need to set standards for quality. Then also innovation is missing out here. So we need to think about what all new services can we start doing and start providing. And then resource utilization. Under resource utilization, we should focus on uh, how our resources are being used, right? So again, the similar thing where we talk about employees only. And then coming to rewards actually first. Then rewards should be set in such a manner which provides motivation, are very clear, because clarity is missing here completely. So clarity has to be there, and controllability. We need to identify ways to how to evaluate a performance of somebody only on the basis of what is controlled or what can be controlled by them. Okay, so that has to be developed. Now, building block model in general would help you to identify all of these factors, develop KPIs, develop CSFs, and also how to measure the performance of each and every segment and managers and partners and non-partners that way. All right, so that was the question that we have seen here today. In this case, let's quickly check out the answer that is given to us by Institute. So, in the essential components of a good performance management, you need to have organization structure, which is the hierarchy. Then responsibility centers, as in responsibility, accountability, and basically delegation of authority. Identify KPI, set yardsticks, CSFs, and then also a review system to compare and take corrective action. All right. Coming to part B, which is a building block model, it is a performance management to improve performance in service business, but can also be applied to manufacturing based on three concepts of dimensions, standards, and rewards. Dimensions talk about six areas divided into two segments. One is results, and second is determinants. Results is competitive and financial performance. Determinants is quality of service, flexibility, resource utilization, and innovation. I say it thicker. Okay, you can probably use this to remember it. Then standards, ownership, achievability, and fairness or equity. I call it SEOA to remember it. And then rewards to encourage achievement of achievability of standards. So it should be clear, it should be controllable, and provide motivation. I call it RMCC. Let me change the color. I call it RMCC. Okay, to remember rewards. Then coming to part C, which is evaluation of existing performance management system. Existing does not focus upon determinants, right? And they are just considering about they are just considering the financial performance. Dimensions talks about the results, which is financial as well as competitive. For financial, they have net profit margin, increase in revenue over previous year. For competitive, they are not doing anything, so they need to understand how to take. Probably what they are doing at this moment is considering with the industry revenue. For market share, maybe this can be done also against our competitors. Now, customer rating has also been used recently for quality of service, as exactly what we had said. Coming to standards now. Standards, ownership is talked about, so not clearly defined organization structure. Ownership cannot be identified. Achievability and equity of fairness. It's a segment-wise measurement that they are doing, which probably they might be doing it equitably, and also they might be setting standards which are achievable. We have not been told about that. Okay, then coming to reward system, then non-partners are getting variable component of their remuneration based upon their rating by immediate boss and peer. Criteria of rating not clearly defined. Weight also not defined for boss rating and peer rating. So I called weight as ratio, and also uh, criteria of rating is what we had also covered. Right. So this might cause demotivation among staff. Then partners are getting fixed remuneration, also share in profit, but not clear with the profit of respective division or entity as a whole. But if they are provided their variable share on the basis of uncontrollable factors, that would create demotivation, right? And they have then given the example that if the division is performing bad, and it might also not want to improve because they are getting a reasonable amount as share in profit because of the other departments performing well. Then coming to the advice, dimensions is to be looked at. Flexibility is important for delivery of service, manner and timing of delivery. Resource utilization talks about productivity of staff. So that can be probably calculated as number of hours charged as a percentage of the total number of hours available, right? We use our charging basis for calculation of the costing and what are we required to charge our customer. So that way something can be done about it. Then innovation has to be looked about. New range of services has to be offered. Standard should be achievable, equitable, and encourage motivation. standard may be financial but also non-financial. Building block model will also help in establishing how to establish standards. And then building block model also reviews the reward system to motivate both non-partners and partners, and reward should be upon criteria for which one has control over. So that is what is the case that we discussed today, building block model. Let me know in the comment section below which is the next case that you would like to, which is the next topic from which you want me to pick up a case. Okay, please mention only the topic from the syllabus. Don't mention case study digest. Don't mention this question. Don't mention case study, not case scenario, not skill based assessment. Please don't mention all of those. Okay, the only thing that is going to help me to come here and discuss a case is you telling me which topic to cover. Okay, so tell me a topic that you want to see in the next video, in the next episode that is going to come day after tomorrow. Okay, if it was possible for me to come every day, I would have done it, but it's not, and that is why I have decided to come alternate days, right? So I'll be coming day after tomorrow with episode number 2. You tell me which topic to take, and I'll select a case from that topic and come up and discuss it in 20 minutes. We are able to do it in 21 minutes today. So, yeah, that's a good achievement. All the best, guys. I'll see you in the next episode. And do mention it in the comment section below. What topic? Okay, only the topic. I'll see you in the next one.